Welcome to kcheebplays, Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. Let's get started. The dinner meeting was planned for that night, and Ludmilla was grilling Uliov for details. How far down the ladder did Kailinka say? I don't know, love. Will I be in charge of the project? I don't know, love. How much budget will I have? I don't know, love. What do you know, Uli? Ludmilla snapped. She hesitated, then said, I'm sorry, I can't help myself. This is something I've dreamed of for a very long time. Uliov replied, I know, Ludmilla. I've lobbied on your behalf. Christoph is neither for nor against. His focus is on building the Republic. If the tourist town helps that cause, he can be swayed. Kailinka, however, is more pragmatic. As you know, she likes the idea of putting our budding Republic on the world stage, but her reality is firmly based in making a profit. You need to demonstrate to her the economic viability of the project. With that, they left for the restaurant and rode together in silence, Ludmilla deep in thought. Christoph and Kailinka were getting ready for the night out, discussing the projects on the go and the plans for crossing the river. Christoph was in a particularly good mood. Trirov was coming along nicely. He said, it would be nice to finally supply our own mechanical goods and plastics. Our import costs are rising. This couldn't come at a better time. Kailinka smiled and said, always about the resources, Christoph? There's more to life and business, you know. Christoph's jaw dropped. All he could get out was, who are you and what have you done with my Kailinka? I need to keep you on your toes, Christoph, she winked, and they had a good laugh. Honestly, Christoph, I've been spending a great deal of time trying to come to terms with the cost of building another city and supplying it. I honestly can't see where our payback on investment is. Scaling it and leaving it with areas to grow into might work, but I'm not sure how Ludmilla will respond to that approach. And if we start small, will the tourists come? Those are questions to be answered this evening. Time to be on our way, Kailinka, Christoph said. Ludmilla and Uliov arrived as Christoph and Kailinka were being seated. Uliov hesitated and cautioned Ludmilla to let the conversation flow naturally into the subject of tourism. Ludmilla nodded. Uliov was doubtful she'd heard him. As they sat and exchanged pleasantries, Ludmilla started to speak, but was cut off by Kailinka. Ludmilla, she said, I want to get straight to the point. A rather ominous start. Ludmilla glanced sideways at Uliov. I want to build your dream, make no mistake, but you need to help me understand when we'll start making money. After all, that is what we do. Ludmilla took a deep breath and began. What if we didn't build a tourist city at all? Pardon me? Kailinka replied. Christoph and Uliov wisely kept silent. What I mean, Ludmilla stated, is we can bring the tourists, workers, and resources in by train and plan for a small airstrip for the future. This would reduce costs and the time needed to open up and get running. As a bonus, the airstrip will open up the Western world for us. Kailinka smiled and said, That's not an angle I considered, Ludmilla. Well done. Come to my office tomorrow, we'll confirm the numbers and get the details sorted. Christoph and Uliov shared a knowing look, and with business out of the way, the evening meal was thoroughly enjoyed. All right, Cheap here. I've got a few things to deal with, but first one I think we need to look at right away is the fuel situation. As we said, we're going to be importing to make sure that we're not running ourselves out. As you can see, this is pretty much running empty all the time. Pickups just not available, and that's just going to lead to some real serious problems getting materials moved around and shopping centers full of food and all that good kind of stuff. So what I was planning on doing was taking the export DO and turning it into a import/export. What I'm going to do is just tell them to pick up fuel here and then drop it off at the Warstock, the Warstock oil fuel loading and unloading, so that we're not running out. So not 100% sure how this is going to cooperate if I have to set this to 40. to make sure, which is going to be a pretty fair hit in cash. But again, I'm not sure that's going to be a huge deal, and there will be plans further down the road to start producing more fuel, but not 100% sure how to make that happen yet. So we're going to do that, and hopefully this will cooperate. If it doesn't, I'll keep a close eye on it, but if it doesn't cooperate, then obviously I'm going to have to make some other plans for that. So we can get this started up. I think we're going to be okay on that front, but again, we'll see what happens there. Next one is our heating plant here. Now we're able to run with these levels, but as you saw at the end of the last episode, we placed this technical college and haven't assigned anybody to start working on it. So I'll get our road-based construction working on it now, so that we can get this kind of half of the town educated, so that we can get the right numbers of workers down there. Because when we bring this other part of Kamnov up, we're going to need this thing basically running max. This heating station exchanger is going to start drawing more, and the numbers of workers we have here just isn't going to be enough. So got that started, and you can see Rudolph is actually going along pretty well. We're getting lots of resources sent down. Helicopters are taking care of us pretty well there. We got a bunch of road guys dealing with the situation as well, so we're looking reasonably on track with that. Hoping midsummer, early fall, we'll be able to start running trains down to the passenger terminal and actually start producing some of those materials. Our farm for our fabric factory, that should be probably sometime late summer, midsummer, get that finished off. It's all going to depend on when everything else gets dealt with. So and then there's two other things that we need to get dealt with in this episode. We got to make our crossing across here, and I'm actually thinking about swinging this up a little bit higher so that I can take advantage of some of the elevation and not have to build up quite as high here. We'll see how that works out when we get there. I'll probably end up doing that in a bit of a time lapse, and I'm going to do what I've done in most cases over here, is running the rail and the road pretty close, reasonably close to each other. You can see that there's definitely some elevation we can take advantage of on both sides that will allow us to not have to mess with terrain too much, although looks much flatter down here than on this side. So we'll see how high I take this up and what happens. What I'm hoping is that I can possibly run some ships. We may end up doing something up in this area for some kind of container facility. I'm not exactly sure where that's going to go, but this would definitely be the shortest route to the Soviet part of the world. This will be open. It's just a little bit of a longer trip, so I'd like to try to keep that to a minimum if I can. And then the last one that I want to talk about is the tourist area. So I'm thinking this is going to be a great little tourist area, possibly having, as we talked about, the airstrip planned, not built, but planned for over here. And then everything else down this way, have a few beach attractions, some kind of beach attractions, a few hotels, a small shop, some restaurants, that kind of thing in this area. And then a train platform here as well, so that we can probably be a bus one as well, because it'd probably be a bit far to have people walk from that airstrip in. So my plan is to try to use this elevation and flatten that out so that I can get a road and the rail in. We'll see how that goes. I'll do that on a time lapse, so that you're not watching me fight with terrain tools and all the rest of that. But At any rate, let's go over here and see what I can do elevation wise. Looks like these are both about the same height, so I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, basically 5 steps up, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, basically about there. That's a lot. That is a lot. I could flatten this. I mean, it's nice gentle slope down to go up that way and then down through this way. It doesn't look, undoable. Undoable. Doesn't look impossible. How about that? But I will end up taking this back. I don't think anybody's working on this part of the roads there at all. So yeah, no one's working on it. So I can take it back and see what I can do terrain wise. So I'll start a little bit of a time lapse, probably be a bit of a short one. You watch me mess around with terrain tools and see what I can come up with. See you on the other side. Well, I'm back. And as you can see, shot myself in the foot again. Made some assumptions about certain fuel loading, unloading. And when you only have the unloading pipes connected, yeah, you're not gonna, or your loading pipes, your unloading pipes, not gonna happen. So went into a little bit of emergency procedures, had to shut the helicopters down, building the new factories. Sorry, Copty, had to happen. We were out and ended up having in Bramsky to just set up a straight import. Fortunately, we're close with trucks. We're close to the border, so we took a little bit of a hit there. We're going to take a hit when we get the trains going on this anyways, but yeah, was able to manage it. Fortunately, Kiamnov had a bit of a supply of, of fuel here. It's getting low, but we should be able to top that back up once we get our main storages here to a reasonable level. Yeah, so that was a little bit of panic, and let's get this sorted out as quick as we can. We got one more construction. We got to get this pipe done so we can start taking care of all the fuel imports by train. That should work out much better. Yeah, so that's, it is what it is. Got the university got built down here in Kamnov. We're educating people now. I'm not sure if there's a direct result of having more engineers here than we usually have, but feeling a little bit better about that number. It's been fairly consistently in the sort of 14 to 16 range, and then as more people get educated, that number should go up as well. So yeah, small things. Hopefully that's kind of sorted. Then I spent a whole bunch of time getting what's going to be the tourist area out and connected up. Some terraforming. Once I get this smoothed out, that should look a little bit better. I want to leave the coastline as close to the way it was as I can. So probably won't be doing much in the way of smoothing on that side, but on this side we can definitely make that look more natural just with the smoothing tool. I don't want to get anybody going on building this yet until we get our fuel situations sorted out. So that will be what it will be. Should build a crossover here too. Going to need that for construction. So I'll get that started. And as you know, I wouldn't necessarily say a fan, but I certainly take a simpler way out building these crossovers because they're just, it can be done. It's just such a pain to deal with, and it's a very inconsequential amount of money involved in dealing with it. So I'll just let that happen as it happens. Good thing I checked. Well, I don't know. Good thing. At least it's not a there's no two nodes taken care of there. So anyways, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way that this turned out. Should be quite a scenic train ride in. Made this an asphalt road just because I know that I'll be using some road construction offices, road-based construction offices. So speed is going to be important, and they're going to have to come through. I considered going up and across, either over or under this, but under that wasn't going to happen. I didn't have the terrain. These are almost on the same level, or they are on the same level. So artificially building it up and going over when we've already got something set up here, and it's going to be primarily for construction. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe this will be good. Maybe it won't be. Maybe I'll revisit and fix it. Let me know what you think. Yeah, so I'm happy with the way that's laid out. We'll get this across, and then probably next episode plan out our next construction office area right in this neighborhood, having it on this side, mostly because we're going to be having the rail on this side, so it's easier to get materials in. Getting into ramble mode, I may as well. I'm delaying hitting the button to make it happen, but I think I'll do that. This'll commit me, and that's sometimes that's a hard thing to come up with in this game. Committing to what you actually planned. Maybe some of you don't have that issue, but I know I do. Okay, we'll get the rest of this signaled up. And then they can start construction once we get our fuel done, and hopefully by the time I get back there, work with me here, I can get this whole thing going. We'll have just a couple, that's all right. I'll live. Yeah, get this sorted out and get it going once we get our fuel situation sorted out. Those are the words I was looking for. So, yeah, this is looking like it's going to work out okay. Hopefully we've got our last pipe. I can get not quite yet. It is happening though. A little bit of a longer one, so I guess it's going to take a little bit longer, but we got all the resources on it right now, so shouldn't take too long to get that one sorted out, and then I can start running the train in. So that's good. We've happiness has recovered. That was dropping down 88. That was a nice little fire that was strategically planned by I don't know who planned by. Anyways, the coal power plant went out and everybody got upset here. Wow, and rightfully so. No power, no industry, no heating, none of that good stuff. So, yeah, that was a bit of a painful one. And I would have thought possibly having it tied in with this plant would have allowed. I may have to revisit that and see where that's at, because kind of thought that might tie in or tie back in. Feeding from that direction. Maybe electricity doesn't work that way. I don't know. Yeah, so gonna need some more trees for the gang to harvest. This is one of the parts of the game that's least fun for me. And I don't know that I've actually talked to anybody that said it was the most fun, but it is what it is. Hopefully at some point they decide that we can automate doing this, because that would be outstanding. Not that I want to start sounding too much like Leaky, but he's right in this regard. Most definitely. Okay. It's good to go. We should probably check this, make sure, yeah, and get a few more trees down here. What does everyone else, what do you guys plant for harvest? You just use the pine trees like I do? I don't know, I just get in the habit, and that's what I do. I don't think there's a right or a wrong. I don't think there's any difference between the trees in terms of what, how much yield or how fast they grow or any of those kind of things. Maybe there is. I'm just not aware of it. Yeah, this is all good to go. So, yeah, let me know if you have a preference, or if you're just like me, you're just a creature of habit and use the same trees over and over again. All right, hoping we get back to the normal fuel situation. Yeah, obviously, this isn't going to be... we're needing oil for this. Probably set my distribution up to handle that here shortly as well. Everything else seems to be going along okay. This is taking a little longer than I thought it was going to. But it's through the groundworks. Now we're on to steel framing. So get some trucks bringing some materials and let's get her built, because I'm going to be umming and on for a while here. Maybe I can start looking at planning the city. It's not really going to be a city, as Ludmilla told us. It's going to be basically an area that has the, a rail station that I'm going to want to put in somewhat centrally here, as well as a bus station, so that we got a place to run people back and forth, and then probably a row. Initially, it probably won't be a full row, but I'm going to be leaving space for hotels, and then some attractions, and then some beach on this side and this side, so that we can get our approval rating up. And I still have to figure out how I want to get this this small airport in. So that's going to be probably one of the last things that I look at dealing with. And as you see, I'm not shy about terraforming. So I think I'm going to cut to another time lapse while I do a little bit of planning in here, and then I'll see you hopefully sooner rather than later. Okay, back. Got a basic start to it. Getting a little bit of an idea here what what I want to do. Definitely going to be a few more attractions. Going to have some year-round ones as well as some summer ones. like I said, this is going to be kind of the block for the hotels. And somewhere in this area, I'm going to have my warehouse for all the things that tourists need. And this will be the train station for workers as well as bringing tourists in. And then up here, long-term plan is to have a cableway that runs basically from the back of this up. Whether it gets used or not, I'm not 100% sure, but it's kind of an interesting idea. Something I've tried before, but we'll see how that works. Hopefully this is sorted out and we can get back on with some of the other construction that's going on. We do a quick check. Looks like we're done. Good to go. Okay. Let me check my distribution offices to see if I can start bringing in fuel, and if I can do that, then we'll get construction going again. Now, to import fuel. How much fuel do we have down here now? Some. And I want, did I leave that connected? No, it doesn't look like it did. We're going to give this one a shot. It is. Motive. Okay, well, the distribution part of that is working, and this is... Okay, so our import is working. Yay. Very nice. Okay, I can turn off the other import back in Bramsky. Tell these guys to stop importing fuel. I'm going to leave that as a backup because who knows when I'm going to shoot myself in the foot again. So that should be all right. We're getting lots of fuel and they should supply it. So let's get our construction going again and make Christoph smile. Let's be a little bit trickier. Just because I wasn't going to start on the power right away. Let me make sure about the plastics. They do need, yeah, they do. Okay, good. Should be able to turn on our distribution. Make sure that we've got, yeah, there's definitely fuel there. So they've got, no, they don't have. Go from this one to here. We'll do the old thought I had wagons for, oh, those are chemical ones. I guess we're buying a few more. Wagons for fuel. Let's see what we have. Fuel for oil. That could work. 57 tons. I'll give it a different look. 65. But a couple of those. So, load oil and unload oil. And keep it 100%, please. Get on that soonish. Your helicopters are back in business. Copy's less angry with me now. Numbers staying about the same. Lots and lots of people want to get educated. And I best get the helicopters on all of this as well. And get our road construction or road-based construction crews going as well. Now that we're done up there, it'll take them a little while to get things going, but it's all good. We should have some more fuel over here shortly, which is just in time. 3% unemployment. Yeah, 227. That's a number we can work with for sure. Really hoping to get that area done. Pre-Rov, I mean. But the game had other plans for me this time. That's the way it goes. Roll with the punches, right? It was too easy. I don't think I would have put as many hours into this game as I have. You think you know stuff and you do stuff and other stuff happens. Very interesting. Okay, well, definitely progressing. Slowly but surely. Yeah, it's not quite halfway, but it's getting there. A pretty steady supply of workers down here now, so that's good. Yeah, plenty of clothes, plenty of fabric. Well, maybe not plenty of fabric. Yeah, well, I guess we've got about 4 months supply, more than 4 months supply of clothes. Not sure how much fabric. I know there's some there. Fortunately, the ships don't take too much. They're more steel based, or steel intensive, I guess, if you will. Okay, well, I think I can get the rail construction office started over here. May as well do that while I've a mind to. No real reason not to. It's one of those other things that annoys me, overfilling. You can end up running yourself out of materials because your warehouse in here is not able to handle it, but do my crossover. There we go. These two should be good to go, and they should just carry on. Leave this minimized up here, because rail construction can be fairly babysit intensive, so it's nice to have it handy versus having to flip back and grab it to go back to where it is. To open it so you can see what's happening. Wow, words. Oh, and the other thing I should mention as well is my apologies for the delay in this episode coming out from 7B. My wife and I went for a little vacation. It's very nice. Into the mountains, did a little bit of hiking, wandered around, saw a bunch of signs warning about bears, so we stopped and turned around. It's berry season, and according to them, we're more tasty than berries, so we decided, common sense being the better part of valor, we'd seen enough and went back and looked another way. It's beautiful though, beautiful. I don't know if you're familiar with this part of the world, but Waterton is in the southern part of the province I live in Canada, and we went down there and had some fabulous meals and some really nice, really nice scenery to take in. The area there called Red Rock that was just spectacular, very iron rich rock, very red. And it's in the national park, so it'll be there forever for anyone to see. Come down and have a peek if you're anywhere in the neighborhood. It's well worth it. Things are going along here, yeah, and we've definitely recovered our happiness, so that's good. Make sure that we're not completely running ourselves. No, not by any stretch. Better check to make sure that I'm not filling this to max. I think I used the supply. If I'd left that at 100, that's probably not a great idea. No, 50%. Still a fair amount. Certainly a safe amount, and it's not going to bankrupt us, so running with that. Speaking of which, that's probably... well, that's our export train, okay. Good. Let's see about kickstarting these with the road-based construction. We won't be able to get anything here just because I don't have the power built. Well, there's a cue for building something that we're gonna need. Get everybody in motion too. And our rail cruiser started. It's good. And the second one is on its way. And I'm thinking that these are not getting dealt with because they're so busy delivering supplies down here. Unless we've got, oh yeah, road-based, just a helicopter. Yeah, they are set to. Don't know why they can fit here, but they can't fit here. I don't know if it's just a little, that's just wide enough for the helicopters to land, and this is just not wide enough. Anyways. Is what it is, I suppose. Well, it might be time for record-setting time-lapse, the third one, in what seems to be a never ending series of time lapses. At any rate, I'll see you on the other side. Right, I'm back. A few things added in here. I think I got the rail stuff worked out okay. Just need to make sure we can get access to both. Got enough queuing area, I think. And let's get some footpaths kind of somewhat laid out. Not going to commit to any of this just yet. Going to need a distribution office probably up here to take all the materials down to the places that need them. The cafes and that kind of thing. The road connections, I'll build the main road first and then hook everything in. Just seems to go a little bit faster when you do it that way. So yeah, it's in the planning stages. Just need to flesh it out a little bit more. Got plenty of construction happening. Trains aren't blocking each other. That's always a nice thing. And got a few buildings dealt with. Here, I want to store... What are the numbers? Well, mechanical components and plastics, right? So let's try 50. Oops, 50. And then 0. Does tab work? Yeah, it does. Nice. And 50. So what does that give us? 600, yeah. Seems a lot. We'll see how that goes. We can start there. We are slowly getting there. Our electrical, again, slowly getting there. We're getting our road somewhat dealt with now. Should be able to get in here and there. We're into May. This will definitely be ready to go next year. Did I plan the power out in here? I don't think I did. Well, there's still some time for that. And this is kind of dragging on a little bit. I'm going to let it go for a little bit longer. We'll go into the time-lapse mode, but just want to keep a little bit of an eye on things. And we're getting some more US bucks. Good. Should be able to purchase those farm equipment that I was wanting to. That'll be good. Well, why don't I do a little bit of planning for electrical for another 5 minutes or so, something like that. And I got 2 connections there. This farm area is only going to need 1. Because, yeah, there's just going to be the 1 fuel station and the farm itself and the distribution offices. So it's really not going to be a high demand scenario. So I'm good with just throwing the 1 in there for now. Give it the max wattage or power. That. Too big a span. Go midway there. Get our helicopters on this one. Oh, am I losing it? I've already built one. That would be fairly typical, wouldn't it? Okay, good. Didn't commit to anything. And yeah, be careful. Okay. Got ahead of myself. Imagine that. Making progress here. It's nice to see. Must mean that we've got all our materials transported. And we're just looking for people at this point. It's going to be a few days to get that done. We're actually not that far away. Christoph might be less mad. Who knows? Getting all this done. Yeah, good. I think that's probably not a bad place to leave it. If you watched this far, thank you very much for sticking it out with me. I appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.